KAVU 25 News Now at 10.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Amaya Norman.
And I'm Trenton Whiting.
Victoria police are investigating an early morning stabbing that sent a man to the hospital. Officers were called around 1:15 a.m. to the 4100 block of North Navarro Street for reports of a man who had been stabbed. Police say the victim, a 29-year-old man, was taken to a local hospital. They couldn't release details about where on his body he was stabbed or how many times, but they say he was not in critical condition and is expected to recover. The investigation is still ongoing and no additional details have been released.
Police say a man led officers on a dangerous chase through Victoria this evening, and around 5:22 p.m. dispatch received a call about 44-year-old Arturo Zuniga heading south on Highway 87 toward the city. Officers tried to stop him by displaying spike strips, but they say he swerved around them and continued driving through several city streets. Police say Zuniga then headed south on Laurent Street and attempted to get on Highway 59. DPS troopers eventually forced his vehicle off the road, and when the car stopped working, he took off running. A K-9 unit was deployed and officers were able to track him down, but authorities have not yet released details on charges or any injuries.
Earlier this morning, first responders rushed to a structure fire in Yorktown, and what they found inside quickly shifted their mission. Firefighters arrived to a heavy smoke pouring from a home. As they worked to get the fire under control, crews went inside and discovered several puppies trapped in the residence. They rescued the animals and brought them to safety while continuing to battle the flames. No injuries were reported and the cause of the fire is still under investigation. Local officials thanked all first responders who helped at the scene, saying their quick action and compassion made a real difference for the community.
Well, the Texas Ramp Project just celebrated 40 years of service, but their work in the crossroads is far from over. The group builds ramps for disabled and low-income residents, and they need more volunteers to keep up. In the North Victoria area, which covers Lavaca, DeWitt, and Gonzales counties, the team keeps several pre-built ramp bases ready in Yoakum. After a home survey, they bring the pre-measured parts and base to finish a ramp in 2 to 3 hours. But in Victoria County, transporting those materials is tough without enough local help. The group says they hope to serve Victoria South more in the future.
I try and get out there and then give them some kind of sense of timing on when the ramp will be built. And so the only way I can do that is if I've got some volunteers that'll help with the build. And I'm not sure how that's going to be done right now for Victoria County. We're trying to, get people to call us, and volunteer their time, to help us out down there.
The emphasis on Victoria County is due to a grant for the Texas Ramp Project that can only be used in Victoria County. Because of that requirement, Quartercracks is hoping someone will start up a Texas Ramp Project chapter in Victoria County for easier and quicker access to those in need in the area. He says that chapter could help as many as 20 to 30 homes in a year and would still receive support from Victoria North.
Those interested in volunteering can apply on the Texas Ramp Project website or give Mr. Quartercracks a call at 361-799-9098 for more information. Now to a stunning headline out of the University of Alabama. 2 college football players were stabbed before Saturday's game.
The school now says a teammate is in custody. The latest now from ABC's Morgan Norwood.
Tonight, a shocking incident at the University of Alabama, Birmingham. According to UAB, a football player is in custody following the stabbing of 2 other teammates just hours before their game. The attack unfolding at the team's training facility Saturday morning. Though police have not named the suspect, 20-year-old Daniel Mincy, a redshirt freshman and former University of Kentucky student, was booked Saturday at the Jefferson County Jail, facing a charge of attempted murder. The 2 victims, still unnamed, rushed to the hospital. In a statement, UAB saying our thoughts are with them and their families as they recover, adding UAB's top priority remains the safety and well-being of all of our students. And despite the emotional toll, the team taking the field against the University of South Florida, saying it was a decision made to honor their seniors.
Powers his way into the end zone.
I'm really proud of this team. The way they came together and competed today, even with heavy hearts. This allowed our seniors to compete in their last game at Protective. It was definitely a tough day.
And UAB went on to lose their final home game against the University of South Florida. Those two injured UAB football players still in stable condition. Morgan Norwood, ABC News, New York.
All right, well, it was a little cloudy this morning.
It was, and a little chilly too.
A little bit, and cleared up, but Thanksgiving this week, so we're obviously all anxious to hear what Jacob Lozano has for us on Thanksgiving Day.
That's right. I'm excited for Thanksgiving, but we also have to continue to talk about that same front. That's why it's been cloudy all day, and we are expecting another front that's currently in Texas to continue to move down south. And then we have another front way up north that's going to be bringing us that colder air for Thanksgiving. But let's talk about that front that had already passed through but is actually stalled out here over the region. It actually caused a bit of a flooding issue right around the Rockport region there, where they got around 6 inches of rain down there. So there was a bit of flash flood advisory that had been put out for them down there. For us in Victoria, though, we didn't really see much of that backflow within that stalled frontal system, but more 3.5 inches closer towards or east of Pleasanton there. So it kind of just went around the county. I mean, even Cuero got a little bit of rain with that as well. But we are going to be talking about, could be a little bit of some marginal risk of some severe weather there. I know Victoria, part of it's in the marginal risk, but areas in Edna, Wharton, and Hallettsville are looking like they're going to be seeing some of that activity where we could see a little bit of hail and maybe some damaging winds. But a little bit of isolated shower activity for the morning is what we're looking at for tomorrow. We'll talk more about the day as well as Thanksgiving coming up. Amaya?
We turn now to food prices in the U.S. President Trump is making a sharp U-turn and lifting some tariffs on imported food goods.
Yes, it comes as millions of Americans are preparing for one of the biggest feasts of the year, the Thanksgiving Day meal. Here's ABC's Andrew Dimber.
Tonight, as Americans grapple with steep increases in food prices ahead of the Thanksgiving holiday, President Trump lifting some tariffs in an effort to lower costs, eliminating import taxes on beef, coffee, fruits, and other products. It comes amid escalating pressure on the administration to tackle rising costs for American families. Compared to last year, the national average of a Thanksgiving dinner is down, according to the American Farm Bureau Federation.
We usually make homemade pecan pies, and the prices are just outrageous for pecans, so we're just going to skip that this year.
The American Farm Bureau Federation says a traditional Thanksgiving feast for 10 runs about $55.18 in 2025 versus $58.08 a year ago, a 5% decrease, but many Americans say their grocery bills are still soaring.
I personally can't afford to buy everything for a Thanksgiving dinner.
And while the cost of a turkey is down 16% this year, other items have gone up. A gallon of milk up 16%. Potatoes up 37%, and a 1-pound veggie tray up over 60%. In a Fox News poll, 85% of voters say their grocery prices went up this year, including 60% who say costs increased a lot.
I don't know that I'll spend more, but if I spend the same, I'll get less food for my dollar.
President Trump is lifting tariffs on Brazilian goods, a key supplier of beef and coffee to the United States, and the administration says it's negotiating more exemptions which could further lower those tariffs. Andrew Dimber, ABC News, New York.
The Victoria County Commissioners Court will meet Monday, November 24th at 10 a.m. in room 241 of the Victoria County Courthouse. Notably, the commissioners will accept Animal Services Director Mark Sloat's resignation on the record. They will also consider accepting a road donation of nearly $600.
For more local news, content, weather, and sports, come to our website at crossroadstoday.com.
And if you see news happening, let us know. Call the number on your screen to contact our newsroom or email us your tips at staff@crossroadstoday.com.
World leaders meet in Switzerland after the G20 summit, and a new U.S. plan for peace in Ukraine is sparking big conversations. What it can mean for ending the war next.
Well, that first front finally cooled us down here just a little, quite significantly. I know 72 is the average, but we were at 90 degrees there a couple of days ago. But 77, that was our high for today, but we're going to be seeing even colder temperatures coming up when I talk about that.
Relaxation meets laughter in the Crossroads' newest wellness trend, Goat Yoga. Watch as yoga lovers find peace and plenty of giggles, striking poses alongside some playful, mischievous goats.
And it's relaxing. You're out in nature. You're playing with the animals. You can just really relax and kind of let the stress of everyday life go.
Join Amaya Norman for Goat Yoga, a 25 News Now Extra.
Approach some reliefs for tens of thousands of Transportation Security Administration workers. A TCA spokesperson say about 90% of the workers have received back pay now that the government shutdown is over. The rest will receive their back pay on Monday. The TCA workers missed several paychecks during the country's longest shutdown. The back pay comes just as the holiday travel rush is set to begin in over the next few days. TCA expects to screen nearly 18 million travelers during Thanksgiving week.
Several world leaders are meeting in Switzerland after the conclusion of the G20 summit in South Africa to discuss global economic and political issues.
Also being discussed on the sidelines are a U.S. plan for peace between Ukraine and Russia. While President Donald Trump did not attend this year's G20 summit, U.S. diplomats are scheduled to meet with Ukrainian officials and some European leaders Monday. Jen Sullivan reports on the latest talk to end the war in Ukraine.
Smoke fills the air as Ukrainian emergency crews try to put out the flames ignited by the latest Russian strike. At least 33 people were killed Wednesday, including 6 children in the city of Ternopil, one of the deadliest attacks in western Ukraine since Russia's February 2022 invasion. After nearly 4 years of war, there's mounting pressure from leaders around the world for peace.
I would like to get the peace. It should have happened a long time ago. The Ukraine war with Russia should have never happened.
The Trump administration has put together a 28-point peace plan. According to the draft, they've given Ukraine until Thursday to accept the proposal, which includes provisions like Ukraine having to give up territory that Russia illegally annexed, giving up ambitions to join NATO, and at least some Russian sanctions to be lifted. The plan is widely seen as favoring Russia's demands.
We're talking about serious international crime, the crime of aggression. We have the perpetrator and we have the victim, and the victim should not be punished.
As global leaders meet in Switzerland, many are also slamming the U.S.'s proposal.
Ukraine must have the freedom and sovereign right to choose its own destiny.
Ending the war between Ukraine and Russia has been a focal point of Trump's presidency. Since taking the Oval Office a second time, he's had numerous talks with both Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky and Russia's President Vladimir Putin. Sunday, Ukrainian officials met with Secretary of State Marco Rubio to discuss their plans.
I want to confirm that we have a very productive first session.
On Monday, European leaders will also join their talks. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
One of the more controversial initiatives of the Trump administration has come to an end early. Elon Musk's Doge no longer exists. The Department of Government Efficiency was supposed to be in operation until July of next year, but Doge is no more. That's the word from the government's chief human resources officer, telling NBC News that it will be up to individual agencies to carry out Doge's cost-cutting mission, that efficiency remains a core objective of the Trump administration.
At least 50 children have escaped after being abducted from the Catholic school in Nigeria, but more than 250 students and a dozen teachers are still being held. Officials say the children who got away, aged 10 to 18, escaped on their own between Friday and Saturday. Gunmen stormed St. Mary Catholic School on Friday, kidnapping hundreds. It's still unclear where the remaining hostages are or how the escapes happened. No group has claimed responsibility, and technical teams have been deployed to search for them. The Nigerian government has temporarily shut down all schools as the manhunt continues. Experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. Stream our daily newscasts and much more using your connected TV. Just download Crossroads Today Plus on your Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, or Android TV. Search Crossroads Today Plus.
Well, when we come back, we're going to talk about 2 fronts as well as some possible severe weather that we could be seeing for tomorrow. Crossroads, I did mention about a marginal risk for some severe weather for tomorrow as we await the second front to come through. Now, what we could be expecting is possibly some damaging winds and localized hail, but relatively, I think it's going to be a lot farther north. Maybe areas in Jackson County might see a little bit of that as well as Wharton, but areas around Victoria, at least based off of the modeling, it doesn't look like we'll be getting too much of that, but not going to necessarily rule that out just yet. So we're going to talk about that first front that had already passed through and had actually stalled out farther south, because it's actually playing a factor with some rain chances for the morning time here, as it kind of throws back a little bit of a warm front there. So start to see some more isolated pockets begin to pick up here by 8 a.m. But then we start to see the front line begin to form there by Monday, and we're starting to see shower activity continue to pick up here for Monday as well as for Tuesday night when the front actually moves down through here. So along the 59 corridor, and this is why I mentioned it was just a little uncertain with it making into Victoria, as we have mid-level jet streak or the jet stream up there with the peaker winds. It's actually more favored up north to help kind of lift all these showers up a little bit higher up. So it's going to be a little uncertain that we're going to be seeing shower activity with that first front, but I'm not going to rule out shower activity throughout the day though. Going to be watching it though, however, for the night, just based off of what the model's been showing me, as well as those mid-upper level winds. But it'll be bringing down some cooler air for us, unfortunately, which I know we've all been waiting for that specifically. So front number one is going to continue to move on out of here and actually kind of stall out a little bit around the Gulf Coast area. But then we got colder air moving in with this third front that's going to be pushing down, and that's going to be bringing us back that fall weather for us here for Thanksgiving. We're going to be seeing temperatures Thanksgiving morning in the 40s, but we're still going to be getting up to the low 70s, upper 60s for the high there. Now, this frontal system is going to actually stall out here, but it's actually going to be returning back as a warm front here as it meets another frontal system up north. So shower activity will return most likely for next weekend. So there's more rain chances in our forecast that we can look forward to with this warm front from the previously past fronts. They will come back more as a warm front, as well as possibly watching for another frontal system where it looks like heavy snow up in Colorado there. But got to endure a couple more warmer days of temperatures. So 84 for tomorrow, getting to 82. Then we have that final front that moves through, and it gets us right around 70 for Wednesday, 71 for Thursday, and then high pressure kind of comes back here for us, especially with the warm front pulling in. We'll see temperatures jump back up and increase. But this is what I like to see, the lower temperatures here for the morning. 57 Wednesday morning, 47 there Thursday, 53 there Friday. So it's going to be that jacket type weather that we've been wanting here for this fall-like feel. But did mention warmer temperatures for tomorrow are going to be right around the mid to upper 80s most likely there, but 68 is going to be the low for tomorrow morning as we start to see a little bit of a backflow within the shower activity and the humidity for us. So isolated showers possible for the morning time. Going to be seeing more of a likely some showers possible with the frontal system. Still going to be watching for that, as well as Cuero going to be seeing that as well. But still relatively the southerly winds return for us, and it's going to be a bit windy for tomorrow as well, especially along the coast with southerly winds at about 18 miles per hour. Next 7 days, 40% there for scattered showers in the nighttime, as well as 30% for the day, but then temperatures get to about 82 there, jump into 70 with the northerly winds and getting to 47 degrees for Thursday morning. And don't forget to scan the QR code for more news, weather, and sports. And speaking of sports, we got Ray.
Thank you, Jacob. Refugio and Ganado meet again this Friday. Indians are rolling. Plus, hear from Ganado's coach Josh Irvin coming up in sports. All right, Crossroads, one of our high-profile matchups is coming this Friday as the stage is set for Refugio and Ganado to meet for the 6th consecutive year in the postseason. These two Crossroads teams have a storied rivalry. Last time they took the field, Ganado proved to be the team that had Refugio's number. And the Indians are just breezing through these early round matchups, but it's only going to get tougher from here on out. They faced Thorndale, a team that came out physical in the second half, doing everything in their power to slow down Ganado's rushing offense. However, the Indians boast an experienced roster featuring key players like Austin Pena, who was crucial in last year's state championship. Pena's performance on the field Friday night was both impressive in passing and rushing, according to Coach Irvin. And meanwhile, quarterback Landon Arriaga, a younger player, appears to have adjusted well to his role on the team. Their 35-14 victory was a solid win, but Coach Irvin knows that there's still work to be done to maintain their success.
I'm just so proud of our kids for finding a way, though. Austin had a great game, receiving and rushing. Landon Arriaga had a great game, throwing it around, distributing the ball, and then Logan did a great job running the ball inside, kind of keeping the chains moving. But without the offensive line playing really well, none of that's possible. And so this is just learn from what we did not as well as we could have tonight and get better for next week. And it's going to be a tough game from here on out. Every week's tough, and so we're excited to still be playing. We know it's going to be tough, and I know the kids are going to be excited for the challenge.
All right, and after yesterday's game against the Arkansas Razorbacks, the Longhorns' chance for playoff contention might be slightly open, just a little bit, guys. You know, bear with me. Arch Manning stepped up big for the Longhorns. When being under pressure on this play right here, he steps into the pocket and throws deep to DeAndre Moore, who completes the play with a touchdown. Manning finished the game with 389 yards and throwing with 4 touchdowns. DeAndre Moore caught 3 of those touchdowns that you see on your screen, totaling 74 yards. Great plays from them led the Longhorns to beating the Razorbacks' final score, 52-37. And with that win, they move up only 1 position in the AP poll to number 16. But let's go ahead and talk about the Cowboys. They bounced back in a big way. Now, guys, last time we talked in the 5:30 newscast, they struggled to put a touchdown on the board. In the first half, the Eagles started the game at Jerry's World with Jalen Hurts leading the charge and doing it with a vengeance, just a dominance on his mind. But in the final 2 minutes of the third quarter, the story changed. The Cowboys scored their second touchdown as Prescott connected to Braven Spanford, and suddenly the game was on. After another rushing touchdown by Dak Prescott, the final 3 seconds of the game down to a field goal, and the Cowboys delivered. Just like that, the Cowboys win the game. Final score, 24-21. So, in the words of Coach Johnson, how about them Cowboys? The injured Spurs unfortunately had no luck on the road tonight, taking on the Suns as they fall to Phoenix. Final score, 111-102. De'Aaron Fox did lead the team in scoring with 26 points. The Spurs will battle the Trailblazers in an NBA Cup game on Wednesday. But that does it for your sports. Amaya and Trenton.
Thank you, Ray. A late-night pit stop at Buc-ee's turned into a delivery no one saw coming. How one baby decided the gas station parking lot was the perfect place to make her debut. Next. Happening in a parking lot, but you probably wouldn't expect a baby being born. Last weekend, a couple in Missouri was racing to the hospital at 3 a.m. when their baby decided not to wait. They pulled into a Buc-ee's in Springfield, realizing they weren't going to make it. The father called 911 and an emergency hospital representative talked him through the delivery. By the time police arrived, baby Elena was already born. Mom and baby are doing well. Wow, just imagine getting born in Bucky. That's good.
That's crazy.
I mean, wait.
The craziest part of this story to me, I did not know Bucky's was in Missouri.
Yeah, that's what I was saying too. I was like, what are we doing here? I thought this was a Texas thing.
Give that baby free Bucky's every time she goes.
Oh my
Beaver
God,
nuggets.
yes.
Free beaver nuggets.
That baby need free beaver bucks.
Absolutely. You know, when I was in Dallas and stuff, I mean, it's just normal to go. You know, you got to stop.
You have to stop at Bucky's.
Yeah.
What?
I stopped there on the way to Garland and on the way back.
You have to, man.
So how was your trip to Dallas? Well, since you went there, you wasn't here yesterday, so.
Well, I mean, I got to go to Bucky, so that was one of the highlights. But no, it was definitely fun. Like, big congratulations to Coach Odom and just the whole family in Goliad. I know they're still partying out there and stuff like that, but congratulations to Addison Yendry. She was the tournament MVP, but it was just an overall fun experience. You know, definitely always fun to cover our athletes. You know, going to the competing on the stage
And a little road trip at that.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Congratulations to them. Now let's go to the weather so they can see.
Yes, so may need a little bit of an umbrella tomorrow. We're going to see a little bit of scattered or isolated activity. Doesn't hurt to bring it, but we could see continuous shower activity throughout the day, as well as a frontal system moving in tomorrow night. And then we got cooler weather per se for the high, but 47 is going to be kind of cold in the morning for me for Thanksgiving.
Yes, but thank you for joining us, and remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Have a good night.